Hello every pony. It looks like the top comment on my video seems to be asking about how I met my girlfriend. Now, we probably have the worst meeting story you could imagine. Meaning, we met online. Specifically, we met on Tumblr. I actually do not recall very much about it. I know that Bailey had begun sending me asking for advice on certain things, and basically telling me about their day, in which I happily responded, because Bailey seemed pretty friendly, gave off nice vibes, and I was like, you know what, I like this person. And eventually, after enough asks, Bailey asked if they could message me, or if I could message them, I think it was, in which I did. After asking, yes, I did message Bailey through the instant messaging on Tumblr, because Bailey asked me to, because I did not have messages enabled for people I did not follow at the time. So I messaged them and we began talking, and we eventually added one another on Discord. And on Discord, I actually think the first thing I said to Bailey in private messaging before the Discord was a screenshot of a random name generator just saying, Hardy Lusk, Hardy Lusk. So, after that, we discussed Hardy Lusk. We discussed it well and through. Anyway, we added each other on Discord, and through this, we began talking daily. Bailey had been asking for some calls, but at this time I had very bad anxiety with calls, and I would turn them down most times, until I eventually felt like I was in the right mood for a call, in which we began calling. And this went very well. Our first call set the mood for our future calls, and this lasted hours long. Our calls would end up lasting up to 10 hours long. We would call almost every day, if not every day, for so long, and each of these calls would last half the entire day. At some point in August of 2017, Bailey, in a call, asked me if I wanted to go out, in which I hesitated to answer because I had never been asked out or in a relationship with someone before, at least not on regular terms. I had previously, before this, been pressured into what I don't even consider to be a relationship with a man I was never into in any way. And because of this, I was very wary of entering similar relationships. The other thing about this was, when Bailey would ask, "Wanna go out?" I always imagined it was a joke. Bailey was asking it as a joke, but they were serious while joking.
I have to dance around it.
Yeah. But after several times, I said yes, and Bailey did not hear me when I said yes. So, until the next day, Bailey had not known I had agreed to this. I will let you know that nowadays we share about 3 brain cells maximum. So, as you can tell, before this, we were incredibly dense. Denser than we are now. But Bailey had asked the next day if I wanted to go out, and I was like, I said yes yesterday. And Bailey was like, you said yes? And that is the lovely beginning of our relationship. It began what I thought was as a joke, or not completely serious, but our bonding over time had made it more and more serious, to the point where I had begun to feel the first attraction to a person I had ever felt in my life, because before this, from ages 9 years old to 19 years old, I had identified as an aromantic asexual. Basically, asexual, no additions. Nothing to add to it. I just was not attracted to anyone. There was nothing else to specify. I was actually rather repulsed by the concept of romance. This is probably due to parts of my upbringing and things that have happened in my past with other people. I was never very good with my relationships with other people because I have always had discomfort with intimacy. Now, this has since gotten better since I have become living with Bailey, which I will get into soon. So after this, we had begun dating almost immediately after talking to one another because this only took a couple of weeks. But soon after this, I had offered to fly Bailey down to Florida so we could spend time together in person and see how it goes, because we both happen to suffer from BPD. We both happen to get into things very quickly, and it just got intense really fast, which usually does not end well. In our case, it has gone very well for as long as it has, and I have hope and reason to believe it will continue to go well. So, about, 4.5 months into the relationship, we met up in person for the first time, and Bailey stayed with me for a week. This week went incredibly well. I had never had this kind of chemistry with another person. I had never gotten along so well with another person, and I had never felt so comfortable with another person. Now, we both get upset very easily, but it really isn't on the other when it happens. We both happen to get upset over minor things that the other can't be blamed for, but we still can't be shamed. I can't say shamed, but it's to be expected because of the whole BPD thing. Despite this, we make it work. We have used our illnesses in order to help one another improve from the mental illness. We both happen to suffer from a habit of self-harm. We have since agreed to one another to support and encourage the stopping of this. We agree that we're going to stop together. We are going to improve together. We promise each other that we are going to improve our mental health together in order to improve our relationship with one another, so we can be as happy as possible with one another and live in as peaceful a life as we can. Anyway, Bailey stayed their week here and went back home up north.
I cried and I had to.
And soon after this, maybe another month and a half, Bailey came back down here and spent a month and a half down here, in which everything went pretty well, and then went back up north again, then came back down here the third time, and since that third time, in early 2018, we have always been together. Every time we go back up north, I am with Bailey, Bailey is with me, and being around one another 24/7 has honestly, in my opinion, improved my well-being. Bailey has said that their own well-being has been improved. They feel happier with me around. I feel happier with them around. And honestly, I'm really glad I took the chance to start talking to them, and I'm glad they took their time to start talking to me. Ultimately, I'm very glad we met. I've never had this good a relationship with another person. I've never had this intense a relationship with another person. I've never had this strong a relationship with another person, this trusting, this close. And I've never felt this much love for another person. So, what I want to say is, I just appreciate my girlfriend, my partner. Thank you for listening, and I will talk to you guys again. Give me any recommendations you may have in the comments, and I will read them. Thank you, and goodbye.